Hey guys, how's it going? Chris here with AC, and I'm back at Universal Studios Hollywood for another update on Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. It's been only 5 days since my last visit. I'm quite excited to see what they've done in those 5 days because they are moving very fast and furiously with this construction. All right, let's go inside and check everything out. Okay, we finally have the section of track that is dropping off of the launch out of the station, as well as some more supports. And there's the skinny one that's holding up the section of track. And then this big fat one on the left there, that is gonna hold up the inversion. That's gonna go straight overhead here and then go in this direction over the escalators. That's what these other big fat footings are for that are there. And there's another one that's buried under here. I think that's also going to be for the supports for the inversion. It's pretty impressive how tight everything is here. I mean, just the mess of supports and track. Let's come down here a little bit further and get a better look at things. But yeah, you can see where it's dropping off, going out that direction, and then it's going to twist, go over this fire road, and drop down the hill on the other side there. They've also filled in behind that retaining wall quite a bit more since last time. And hopefully, I'm gonna stay here until 6 o'clock when the park closes. Hopefully I can see another section of track go in here. Also interesting, I've said this before, is that they're doing this in like weird sections, like little segments. They're not starting at one end and continuing along in one linear path like I've seen a lot of other coasters built. Here's that massive footing again. This is going to be really, really, really awesome to see when it's all done. Here we are with a different angle. So you can see where it's dropping down here, it's going to curve to the left, and then that giant footing there with a little tiny baby support on top of it, that's where it's going to curve to the right, and then it's going to hop over the fire road here and go down the hill on the other side. Down here, they're still working on that footing and getting everything else prepped for more supports. Station looking awesome. And then, of course, over here, wow, just absolutely breathtaking. This entire project is so phenomenal to look at. I can't get enough. Nothing new on this side of the escalator. We're just waiting on more track and also a few more supports that will be for the inversion that goes over here. Kind of silly here, but I'm looking at these railings and notice that they've color matched the coaster to them. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, but it was just a observation I was making here. I got some chips there, you can see the old color. Well, speaking of seeing track get installed, there's a piece sitting right there on top of the retaining wall, and it looks like it's gonna go right here. Let's plug that baby in later. Just a quick overview of the station. Not much has really visibly changed other than right over here where you can see that track drop down. So awesome. Hello, Mr. Crane. What are you up to today? Let's see what's going on over here. Sun's at a better angle too. Okay, yeah, they've laid rebar for all those other footings. Also, that shoring box there, that might have been the one that I was looking at last week that was over in the staging area. So I was correct that it was going to get used over here. Sometimes I'm just, you know, well, most of the time here I'm just guessing with a lot of stuff here. Educated guess, I guess. But anyway, here's everything from this perspective. Doesn't look too much different than it did 5 days ago, but it's baby steps. It'll look like nothing for the longest time, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know, there'll be supports here within, you know, a matter of what, a few weeks maybe, and then looking all the way down at the end there. They have running conduit, I think. It's hard to tell from here what that is. I think they're doing some electrical over there. And still no supports there at the far end. I was hoping that was gonna get done, but anyway. I'm gonna check back in a little bit, see if they do any work here later. But wow, what a beautiful day. Really cool shot of the track from the escalator here, looking through the glass roof. That's gonna be so rad seeing a coaster drop down that. All the way down here at the lower lot, and there's a really cool perspective of the coaster. You can see that gap where they still need to install that piece of track there. And then of course, all the areas where the inversion is gonna be and whatnot. It is gonna look awesome down here as well. Just so many areas of this park. Anyway, that crane looked like it, yeah, it's moving. So I'm gonna go back up there and see if they're gonna install some track. Oh my God, I'm out of breath, but they're doing it. They're gonna install a section of track. There's a guy on the track over there, and that crane is getting hooked up to the piece that was on top that I looked at earlier. Finally, I get to see something that's not a porta potty or a piece of equipment that's going in the air. I finally get to see a big piece of track. This is gonna be, wow, cool. All right, should go up here really soon. I was almost gonna go on Jurassic World, and then I decided not to, and as I turned around, I saw that crane moving, and so I ran back up here, and oh, I am so glad I did. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. Oh, I almost tripped right there. Rad. Of course, I got the sun shining at me, but let's see if I can get a good angle here. They're still getting it all adjusted before they lift it up. They're getting it in close orientation to how it's gonna lay in place there. That is gonna be rad to see. Doesn't that just look so incredible hanging there by the crane? As they prep to get this piece of track installed, underneath there you can see there's a strap and a chain, and they have that on a ratchet so they can adjust this piece of track that's already in place. There's also a rope up at the top there, and kind of same thing. They can make little micro adjustments as they fly this piece of track in, because it's not gonna exactly line up. You gotta fudge it just a little bit. Okay, there it finally goes. It's been about 45 minutes since I ran over here, and just a bunch of hurry up and wait, but finally a piece of track going in place, or at least me catching a piece of track going in place. This is so cool. One of a lot of pieces of track. I mean, I don't know how many they have here total, but oh, and it just stopped there. But yeah, it's a 2026 opening, and you know, I think it might get done a little bit sooner than that, but there is a lot to build here, even though it feels like they go really fast with everything. You know, a lot to do here, not just the track work, but everything else. And let's see what's going on here. It's getting a little bit closer. Very, very slow movements here as they line this piece up, and as soon as it gets a little bit closer there, I'm sure that guy will receive it and kind of nurse it down into place. While it feels like this coaster is getting built really fast, when you see how long it takes just to install one piece of track, I mean, it's been, like I said, 45 minutes since I ran up here, at least more an hour or more of you know, prepping to get it in place, and it's still not even attached yet. They still got to bolt it in and everything. So yeah, oh, and here it is getting received by that guy there, getting it lined up. But yeah, just for one piece of track, it takes you know, an hour or more just for this. So you know, when you multiply that by all the other pieces of track, this is going to take a while. This is a very, very big ride. And now it's even less lined up, but it must be pretty difficult to get this piece of track in between two existing pieces of track. And like I was saying, normally they'll start at one end, like the station, and then they will just follow the path of the coaster and attach one to the end of the other, so they're not having to insert in between two pieces of existing track. But there must be a reason that they are building the coaster how they're building it, with these random segments, and then having to plug pieces of track in between those random segments. All right, it is more lined up now. There's a guy on either end there, and they will guide that into place. Get it all bolted together, and then maybe I'll get to see another piece of track get installed, but I didn't see another one staged up at the top there, so that might not happen. But hey, I at least get to see this one, and I'm super happy about that, and obviously to be able to share that, share this with all you guys. So yeah. Okay, they've taken tension off those ropes, and now they are going down to that ratchet there. And they're gonna pull this piece of existing track and supports over a little bit. I think it's just a little bit too tight there at the top for them to slip in the new piece of track. So yeah, they're just ratcheting that down, putting some tension on the support there, and it'll give a little bit more of a gap there. Looks like they finally got everything lined up over here. And then over here, there's just a little bit more to go. But this is not an easy job. Hats off to all the construction workers working on this to give us an amazing ride. Came back over here closer to the escalators, and I see that they've blocked off being able to walk up the stairs here. That just happened in the time since I was running up here about an hour ago before they started this install. Yeah, there's all this music playing over here, so it's really hard to talk. But so like I said, they're making little adjustments here. The guy over there is loosening up the supports there, and they are banging away here, getting everything adjusted, because it is very, very, very precise to get this piece of track inserted in here. And yeah, they're still working on it. It's been some time. Got all the guys up on the retaining wall there, just supervising this, right? How many supervisors do we have up there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got 7 supervisors up there apparently. Anyway. So earlier I was wondering why they were taking the extra effort to plug one piece of track in between two existing pieces of track, and they weren't just going in one path from, say, like, you know, that piece of track and then do the next piece of track and the next piece of track. And that is because the one that they are installing doesn't have a support underneath it, so it would just be free hanging, and it's really the only way they can smartly do this. Thank you to the person I was chatting with who gave me that bit of information. Makes sense. I can't believe I didn't think about it myself. Came up to the top to get a different perspective on this. The sun is not in the best spot, but I did want to get a closer look at them bolting this track together, and it looks like they're going to start doing that here really soon. Getting everything bolted together now. Once they get this all attached, they'll probably keep those bolts a little loose, and then they will swing this piece in place over here and loosely get those bolts in and then tighten everything up. Now they've hooked up a winch system so they can twist the track and get it all lined up, and then yeah, the guy's pounding the bolts in place there. I'll say it again, not an easy process. But I imagine that as they continue along here, they will get quicker at doing this. All right, well, that's going to do it from here at Universal Studios Hollywood. What an exciting day. I finally got to see some track get installed, and there's many, many more pieces to go. I'll probably make Mondays and Tuesdays my days to come here and stay late if it's a day that I'm not working. And that's when they're putting in all the track and the supports, apparently. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back here again very, very soon, next week, that is. I'll see you. All right, bye.